Hi, Craig with Health Nuts Coaching. So in our coaching program, we talk a lot about how we can make healthy habits easier, and then also ways that we can make unhealthy habits or behaviors that we want to get rid of. How do we make those more difficult? And so how do we make a bad habit hard? So we can't rely on willpower to drive our success. And that's one of the mistakes I think that we oftentimes make when we go into a healthy eating program or even a fitness program, is that we make things very difficult to do. And I want you to think about, how can we not rely on willpower as much as we probably have in the past? So one of the things we can do to make it harder to eat bad food is simply not to have that food available. And we all have different living environments, and you may have less control over that or more control over that. But that's one of the things I want to encourage you to do is, how is it that you can remove the temptation while willpower isn't even in the equation to eat healthier foods? So an example would be if you open up your fridge and the only thing in there are things that you believe would be healthy foods for you to eat and drink. That eliminates that. You wouldn't open your refrigerator and see a cake or other things that you really struggle not to eat. And then you have to apply willpower. And it's just a matter of time before that willpower fails. So one of the ways that we use in our coaching program is we want to encourage you, how is it that you can start with maybe shopping online, for example, and you shop online and then you're not visually tempted as you walk through the grocery store and you see all these other things that are really difficult for you not to give into. So you have to even apply willpower when you go out shopping. So what you can do is decide that you're not going to actually go into the store, but you're going to do your shopping online, and then you can have it either delivered. Obviously, you can go pick it up outside, but that's one way to eliminate the need to apply willpower. So you just simply create a list of food that you want to buy weekly online, and then every week when you go online, you just simply repeat that purchase, and you may continue to add healthier selections, but the idea is obviously that you're not visually challenged with applying that willpower. And you also may need to ask a spouse or a friend to do that shopping for you, and that would provide you with kind of another layer of avoidance, that even if you get online shopping and you're making some selections, and they're probably pretty good about making other suggestions, and so there may be pastas and other things that may pop up that you may not want to purchase, but you still may have that visual kind of temptation. And so you may, if need be, may even want to have somebody else do that shopping for you. So it just takes you completely out of the equation, and you just have a supply of healthy foods on a regular basis. So if there's others in your family that they're not joining in on the healthy routine, and that's probably common if you have kids, maybe designate a place for their junk food and place it out of your sight, so that if you do open up the cupboard or the pantry, you're not looking at the chips and the things that you maybe struggle with. And so you may have to separate what it is that you don't want to eat. So at least that initial temptation or that awareness is going to not be necessary for you to apply that willpower. So that's oftentimes just seeing something and having easy access to it. Now you have a very difficult decision where you have to apply that willpower. And if you're like me, what happens is you may in that moment be able to resist it, but it kind of stays with you. If you're hungry or you have those cravings still, knowing that it's right there and easily accessible, that's going to force you to apply willpower, and eventually that willpower will diminish. So what about if you struggle to get to bed early? Sleep is one of our core health habits that we talk about in our program. And so what if you find it hard that you have maybe favorite shows that you watch, or you have autoplay on Netflix, and you kind of go over your time limit? Next thing you know, it's 2 or 3 hours past your bedtime. So how is it that you could maybe apply something there? So one of the things you can do is to set a timer on the TV, for example, and have the TV shut off at a specific time. So maybe you sit down and you give yourself maybe an hour to watch TV. That's going to make it difficult, obviously, for you to go past that. And that way you have time to pause and make a right decision without the TV as a distraction. So that's one of the things that we do in our coaching is, even if you can't completely eliminate that decision, how can you provide those moments of pause where you can remove what you're challenged with, and that allows you to make a better decision? So if the TV obviously turns off, and now you actually have to make it a little bit more difficult and make a decision to bypass that and turn the TV on. And so oftentimes that gives us the opportunity to say, nope, I'm going to get up and I'm going to go to bed because it is time for bed and I value the sleep time. So think about one of the unhealthy habits that you currently have. How can you make that habit or behavior more difficult to do? And that's what we, on our weekly coaching sessions that we often do, is we pause and we introduce that. So we reflect back on the week. What are some things that maybe you did, some things that you ate, that maybe you want to make some changes with? And then that's what I would ask you is, how can you make those things that you want to remove? How could you make that more difficult? And then I kind of take you through a thought process of coming up with a game plan that you can implement for the following week. So you can do that on your own as well, or you can have somebody else ask you those questions. So no one's perfect, remember that, but we can apply some of these ideas to greatly reduce or eliminate things that are not aligned with our health goals. And that's really all we're trying to do, is we're trying to add on layers that give us a higher success factor. And so that's oftentimes the key to success long-term, is simply to make things either easier that we want to continue to do, or make those that we want to eliminate a little bit harder, and then we want to remove willpower from that equation. So guys, I also want to just remind you, we do have a 12-week online healthy lifestyle coaching system. You can decide to do that on your own, or you can do that with me on a weekly basis. But I want to encourage you to think about creating a plan that starts to implement just some very simple healthy habits like proper hydration, and start to track that and make it a goal that you're going to drink enough water during the day. Other things as simple as eating veggies, getting enough protein. All of these things are one skill that we implement each week, and we focus on that, and we help you to provide ways to focus on it, make it easy, make it a habit, and then you build on that. So think about that 12-week healthy lifestyle coaching system. You can get to that from our healthnuts.com page, and just go to courses. So I hope you found this video helpful. Guys, I hope that encourage you to think about something you want to eliminate this week. How can you make that just a little bit more difficult and remove the willpower from the equation? So have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon.